I thought episode 3 was good, but holy crap, episode 4 was nuts. What's up, everybody? My name is Tootin, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode review discussion thing. I usually do like top 5 moments, but we're not doing those today. I don't know if I'm going to continue doing those. I don't really enjoy making those anymore. That's what I used to do back when I did like the Flash and Arrow and stuff like that, but I don't really enjoy those anymore. I think we're just going to discuss the episodes, have the shorts and the theory videos, you know, in between, and all of that. So we're just going to discuss this episode. So this episode, I'm so in between on it, right? Like, this episode was obviously the best episode of the series. Like, there's no getting around it. Episode 3 was great. Zemo being introduced into the show in a big way was awesome. The cliffhanger at the end of episode 3 with Io, that was great as well. But episode 4 took those stakes and raised them by 10. They introduced John and Lamar into the episode in a big way. Like, for the first episode, they play like a really big part. We get to see the Wakandans back, and of course they kicked John's ass, which was absolutely, it was just fun to watch. But this episode did a lot of big things. It did a lot of good things and some really bad things, in my opinion. So, let's talk about the good things first. So the good things, it really developed Zemo's character even more. I was sitting there during the episode, and me and my fiance, you know, we talk in between like the, you know, the big talky parts. Like, we'll talk while an action scene's going, because, you know, I like the dialogue a lot more than I care for the action, to be quite honest. And, you know, I was thinking about how hypocritical, we were both thinking about how hypocritical it is that everybody just forgets what Zemo lost because of the Avengers and Tony Stark. You know, he had a city dropped on his family, his son, and his wife, and his dad. And, you know, yeah, he killed some people, but, I mean, he's pissed. I'd have been pissed. I think everybody would have been pissed. But they did a really good job of developing his character in this episode, having him mention his family more than once, and even made a very sad reference to his son that, you know, struck my heartstrings, struck my heart chords. It was very sad. They did Zemo very well. They introduced the Wakandans in a big way. Io and a few other Wakandans beat the absolute holy shit out of John Walker and Battlestar. It was fun to watch, and even deactivated the Winter Soldier's arm, even deactivated Bucky's arm. That was fun to watch as well. Like, that whole scene was great. And of course, John Walker and Battlestar, they're two of the best parts of the episode, really. We get to see a little bit more into the character of John Walker and how unhinged he actually is, and how Lamar, Hoskins Battlestar, how he was kind of like his, you know, his conscience. He was his Jiminy Cricket, man. Like, he was his, you know, a little angel on his shoulder, like, hey man, you know, maybe you should calm down a little bit, you know, maybe you should, don't do that, that's bad, don't do that. And, you know, that's gonna lead us into the bad part of the episode that I don't like, but we'll get there. Another great part of this episode, what really hit me good, I love the acting in it, I love the whole scene, and the intensity of the scene, along with, you know, John and Bucky elsewhere waiting, but Sam's talk with Carly, that was a great scene. Very well acted. I liked the points that were brought up. I liked how the characters were introduced and how they you know, talked, and, you know, it wasn't just a big fight, because it doesn't always have to be a fight, especially when, you know, you can see that what Carly's doing is not the wrong thing to do, but she's just going about it the wrong way. It's exactly like Sam said. I mean, it was a very good scene, well scripted, well acted. I really enjoyed it. There were some bad writing parts. One major bad writing part in this episode, and we'll go ahead and transition, because I don't want these reviews to be like fucking 25 minutes long. I like to keep my Marvel stuff short and sweet and to the point for the people that enjoy watching these. One of the, like, bad parts of the episode, actually we'll talk about both of them. The first part, we're going to talk about the scripting of this. When the dude is saying, if, my granddad always said, if you were scared while you were doing something, it was usually the right thing to do. Dude, if I go hold up a gas station and I'm shaking in my fucking boots because I don't want to go to jail or get shot by the cops, I still don't think I'm doing the right thing, you know what I'm saying? Or if I'm about to fucking, you know, yoink a candy bar from Walmart and I'm nervous because I don't steal a whole lot, that's not the right thing to do. You know, like, I don't know who the hell wrote that scene, and I don't know if it was supposed to be written in a bad, I wouldn't say context, but written to show that these people don't really understand the grounds of what they're doing, and that the foundation of their ideals, the foundation that it's built on, is wrong to begin with. I don't know if that was intentionally bad writing, or someone thought that sounded really smart and they're like, throw it in, bro. Because that, I started laughing immediately. Immediately. Like, no, that's not how that works. But anyway, enough making fun of the writing right there. Leading into the one glaring problem that this episode had, and the one glaring problem that I've talked about in some of my previous Marvel videos, the problem with the MCU of killing characters. Now look, I know we're past Civil War, we might not ever get Dark Reign, we haven't gotten some of the bigger comic, storylines in the MCU, and now we probably never will. Killing Lamar Hoskins, killing Battlestar, was the absolute worst thing they could have done. This character, believe it or not, has played many different roles in the comics, and not just alongside John Walker's Captain America. Even though he does play some big parts with John Walker's Captain America, and a hell of a lot longer than he did in this show, seeing as he got punched into a concrete wall and fucking broke his neck or cracked his skull or some shit. I don't really know. I'm not a medical expert. But he plays parts in Dark Reign, played a part in Civil War, played parts in after Civil War, and I think he even continued to play parts after that in the Marvel Comics. This character is not mainstream, he's not as mainstream as Captain America, John Walker even, the Winter Soldier, even Agent 13, Sharon Carter. He's not as mainstream as even them, but he's still a pretty good character in the comic books that a lot of people actually enjoyed, and me myself enjoy reading when he was in a comic. I enjoyed that. The MCU has had a huge problem with this, killing off these characters that have barely just gotten started, like Ronan. I could make a whole video about Ronan, about how they killed him off early before he got to play a part in Annihilation, if they even ever do that. Are we ever going to see the Nova Corps, or the real, Nova? We've seen Xandar and the Nova Corps, but are we ever going to see Richard Rider? That's the question. Ronan, they killed him off early before he could play a part there. They killed Thanos off before he could play any more parts in anything else. Infinity Gauntlet was not the only Thanos story. And they're just killing off all of these characters before they can even really get started. And that's heroes and villains. And the heroes that they're not killing off, that are not mainstream, are getting barely any good roles. Like, they just brought Agent 13 Sharon Carter into the show and gave her a big part to play, which I think she's the power broker, but we're actually going to make a video about that this week. When she played major parts in Civil War, was a long-time lover of Captain America. Like, they don't play these characters up well enough, and they kill them before they can get started. That's the one thing I don't like about this episode. They did not have to kill Lamar Hoskins. They could have paralyzed him. I know that's horrible, but they fixed paralyzation in the MCU before with Rhodey, so they could have fixed Lamar. It could have just pissed John off to the point where he still decapitated the dude in, Town Square, which, that was another great part of the episode. Him completely decapitating that guy, losing his shit. Let me tell you, I don't remember the name of this actor. This is the first time I've ever seen this dude in something. This guy's an amazing actor. He's playing this unhinged John Walker, new Captain America, so much weight on his shoulders. He's playing this character so well. I'm really enjoying every time he's on the screen. He's a character that you love to hate because he's not Steve Rogers. He's an asshole. He's not what you expect Captain America to be, and that's how he's being written, and that just shows that the writing is good and the acting is better, and I really enjoy that about the show. And he gets the super soldier serum. He's fucking bending pipes, kicking people through walls, throwing a shield through walls. It was all great, and even Zemo in this episode was great. There's a lot more good things to talk about in this episode than bad things. It's just the bad things are easier to talk about for longer because they have been long-running issues of the MCU. So I could sit here this entire video and talk about the bad things from this episode, and how it's been a long-running issue just because it's been a long-running issue. But that overshadows the fact that this episode was actually a 9 out of 10 episode. It was an amazing episode. It's just the MCU once again strikes on doing the wrong thing with a character, and there's nothing you can really do about that. But that does not take away from the episode itself and the show itself. That really ultimately will just take away from the world that that it takes place in. But as far as the episode goes, I don't really like ratings, but it was like a solid 9 out of 10, 9.5 out of 10. The action was on point. The story was on point. The acting was on point. Everything about this episode, except for maybe that one like bad writing part. Everything that was directly to do with this episode and would not like affect the world as a whole, like a big death. All of that was on point. It's just, I did not like them killing Lamar right there. But that end scene, I cannot wait to see what happens in the next episode. You know, all of America is watching. Those people who put that mask and that shield on that man's head and that man's arm, they saw that. They saw him decapitate a man in public, in town square, in front of God and everybody. The title of the episode is The World is Watching. The whole world is watching. So I'm excited to see what happens. Again, this episode, I don't like scores, but solid 9.5 out of 10. 9 out of 10. Great episode. Loved all the characters. Especially loved John Walker's Captain America in this episode. Can't wait to see him turn into U.S. agent. Hopefully we see that by the end of the show, but let me know who you guys want to see take up that shield. That's like the running discussion of these episodes. Like, it's the constant discussion, you know. Sam doesn't want the shield. It goes into a museum. They pick John Walker. John's obviously losing the fucking shield. And it's been the discussion of Bucky or Sam. Who are you voting for? Personally, I'm going for Bucky. I read the comics after Winter Soldier was introduced in 2004, 2005 by Ed Brubaker, I believe it was. Ed Brubaker. I read that comic line. It turned into when Cap died after Civil War. Bucky took on the role of Captain America. Pretty sure Sam turned it down then as well. But I want to see Bucky with the shield. I eventually want to see Sam with it, but Bucky should get the shield first, in my opinion. Then again, I like Bucky. I love the Winter Soldier. That's my favorite Captain America movie and probably one of my favorite MCU movies, so I want to see him get the shield. But anyways, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comments down below. I'm very curious to hear what you guys have to say. That's going to do it for me again. Thank you for watching. My name's Tugan. I've been your host, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.